Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. My name is Qamarina Aqilah binti Shaharuddin, and this video is the second out of 4 commentary videos under SOC 3533, and this video will be about social stratification. So before I begin, I will explain the definition of social stratification. So social stratification is a process that happens within a society that includes classifying as individuals into groups according to their status or economical value. So in this assignment, we are we are required to choose 2 heroes and investigate their backgrounds to see the process of social stratification that they went through before they become who they are now. So for this video, I've chosen 2 people from the music industry, specifically the rapping industry, and I've chosen Eminem, which is Marshall Bruce Mathers too, and Jaden Smith. There are a couple of categories that is needed to differentiate or similarize between these 2 heroes. So I will get through it as we go on with the video. So first category that I will be explaining to differentiate these 2 is the forms of stratification. For me, I believe that Eminem's, or let's call him Marshall's forms of stratification that he had went through is social class. I believe he is in the lower working class since his parents separated, and his mother isn't and even with him living with his mother isn't working, so he is the one that is responsible of working and try to at least keep the house that they live in, and basically helping them survive as much as he could. And it's not easy because his work, he only has like part-time jobs, and when he does try to make music and try to get money from that, it mostly based on luck, because people obviously look for music that has its own production and stuff, because it's much better that way. People don't usually go for indie music. And when he does make music, it's hard for him to obtain money because, like I said, it's on luck. How if people manage to notice his songs and if they like it, and also because he has mental issues, and that caused him to get kicked out and get fired from jobs multiple times. Next would be Jaden Smith. I feel like the form of stratification his parents and him had went through is the caste system. This is because Jaden Smith was born into the entertainment industry, since his parents are both actor and actress, and also songwriters and filmmakers. So Jaden Smith was born into the entertainment industry. He had already started acting at the age of 6, which is the pursuit to happiness, and that is why I believe his forms of stratification would be caste system. So the next category that I will be differentiating for these 2 is the class consciousness. I believe Marshall's class consciousness would be the proletariat, the working class, even though his parents aren't working, but he is the one working, and is also juggling a lot of jobs at the same time. So I feel like his class consciousness would be proletariat or working class. As for Jaden Smith, his working class would be the bourgeoisie, because his parents are the one in means of production, means they are the one that's making the music, they are the ones acting in films. So I believe his working class, I guess you can say its working class is much higher compared to Eminem, so his class consciousness would be the bourgeoisie. Next category is the false consciousness. So for Eminem or Marshall, I believe his class consciousness would be quote unquote road out of poverty. So many people believe that he was born rich, but actually he went out of poverty. Rapping actually helps him climb out of the of poverty, and he had made a lot of money just from rapping and making music. But it seemed easy, but it wasn't really easy. It was really hard for him. He had went through a lot of heavy, a lot of burden, a lot of how can I say, eggshells. Basically, he had walked on a lot of big eggshells. It wasn't easy for him. It was hard. He made it seem easy, but it according to his background, we all know that he didn't go through an easy life to achieve what he has now. As for Jaden Smith's false consciousness, uh, he once believed that he is the future of filmmaking, photography, and songwriting, as he stated in the tweet. But uh, as he entered the music industry, he had thought otherwise. He believed that he is much better in music rather than filmmaking and photography. Next is status. So I believe Eminem's or Marshall's place now is obviously achieved, because as we have stated before, he had went through a lot to actually achieve what he had. Uh, he had joined a lot of competitions. He had tried collaborating with a lot of his friends and some people that he met that also likes rapping. He has a lot of songs in his past that helps him climb up the popularity of the rap, I guess, rap. And he had joined the Rap Olympics, and that was when he won second place during Rap Olympics, and that was when Dr. Dre noticed him, and that was when he started working with Dr. Dre and achieved the name Slim Shady. Next is for Jaden Smith. His status is ascribed because, as we have stated earlier, he was born into the entertainment industry and had already started acting at the age of 6 in the pursuit of happiness. So that is why I believe that his status is ascribed. Next, the two heroes is Prestige. Marshall is a rapper and a songwriter, while Jaden Smith is an actor and a songwriter, which that's the two. He's also a rapper, but people, I guess they see him more as a songwriter. Next is Esteem. So Esteem is basically how people see these two heroes. So both of them have achieved a lot of awards, and we will start with Marshall. Marshall have received a maximum of 15 Grammy Awards. Other than that, he had also won the Academy Award for Best Original Song in 2002, which is for his Lose Yourself song. And other than that, he have also won the Global Icon Award in 2013 at the MTV Euro Music Awards in Amsterdam. As for Jaden Smith, he has won the MTV Movie Award for Best Breakthrough Performance in 2007 for his The Pursuit of Happiness movie. Next, he won the Male EMA Futures Award and the Best Young Stars Award in 2011. Next is the social economic class. I believe Eminem is in the middle class. Yes, he is in the middle class, while Jaden Smith is in the upper class. This can be seen because of their wealthiness. So Eminem is in the middle class, while Jaden Smith is in the upper class. Next is the poverty line. So the differences between these two are really huge. So we can see that Eminem is the one, or Marshall is the one living under the poverty line, while Jaden Smith is living above the poverty line. And why I say this is because Eminem's living under the below the poverty line because his parents were separated, and his father never really contacted after he had left for to marry another wife in California, and his mother isn't working. His mother is an alcoholic, and she never really worked for her children. Excuse me. So Eminem was the one working, juggling works to help them survive. Um, why I say Jaden Smith is living above the poverty line, which is quite obvious, it is because his parents are rich and he had already started a career at the age of 6, so he had already achieved money from there. So his excuse me, he is obviously much have a lot of money compared to Marshall. Next is the life chances. So for Marshall, he is disadvantages. This is because I have stated a few times in this video that his parents are separated. So the chances of because just from his parents separating, the chances of him becoming to who he is now, I'm sorry, were slim. So and it adds up because his mother doesn't work, and he also had to juggle works jobs and stuff, and gets fired multiple times. um and he also lives in a black neighborhood, and like the neighborhood has only like a couple of houses that have white people, and he is often beat up in the neighborhood. um Other than that, uh he also have mental health issues. So um he has been seen to attempt suicide and has abused drugs in all those cases. So it only works for Eminem because his chances only increased by a slightly when he joined the rap Olympics in 2001, I think. I can't remember. But he joined the Rap Olympics, and that was the only time when Dr. Dre had noticed him. If he didn't, he wouldn't have been who he is right now. Excuse me. As for Jaden Smith, his life chances are advantageous because he is already has his parents to work up the steps to. So Jaden Smith have role models that he can follow. He already has support. He and he already started acting in a movie at a very young age. He even starred in another movie. I can't remember what it was. I think it was After Earth, in like also at a very young age. Next is the social mobility. As for Marshall, I believe that he had went to through lateral mobility from lower class uh, to upper middle class. This is because that at first he lives in poverty, like struggling to actually survive with his mother, because his mother wasn't working and he was the one responsible to um, pay the bills and whatnot. And I believe that after he had gotten the job and working up as a rapper as day goes up, that is when he moved from laterally from lower class to upper middle class. As for horizontal mobility, he did shift places as well for horizontal mobility. It is because that at first he is known as Slim Shady, which is when he first started working under Dr. Dre. So he moved from Slim Shady to Eminem, which is who he is now. As for Jaden Smith, he has no changes in lateral mobility, while he does have changes in horizontal mobility, which is basically shifting between acting and songwriting. As for the stratification, both of them are open systems. And yes, I did say that um, Jaden Smith's form of stratification was a caste system, but I believe that if he wants to, I think that if he wants to shift from who he is now to something else, he is allowed to because he's not locked. But I said that he is in the caste system because he was born with the status. So, in conclusion, they are both very great rappers, and I believe that the one that deserves to have the best rapper title between the two would be Marshall, because of the things that he went through and the challenges that he faced to get to who he is now, which makes him more worthy. So that is all for this video. Thank you. Please listen to Rap God, not sponsored.